In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a print that looks like this, where we've used plants as a mask. In gel printing, we have stencils and we have masks. Let me talk about stencils first. You all know what a stencil is. It looks like this. You've got holes, and if I were to put this down on my gel plate, I could brayer paint through it. That's what a stencil is. But a mask is different. A mask is something that you lay down on your gel plate so that it masks or covers up a part of your print. And that's what this is here. This is a botanical that I made with masks. And I use these plants here to create these masked lines. So in this short video, I'm going to show you how it's done. Before I start putting paint on the plate, I try to take my botanicals and arrange them in a way that I think will look good in the print. So I have this laid out like this. This is probably the way I'm going to do this. So now I'm going to move these off of the plate and I'm going to put paint on it and show you how this masking thing is done. I have some blue and purple paint here. I'm going to put some of this on the plate. Some magenta, and a little bit of Payne's gray. Whoops, that's too much. I'm gonna wipe that off. I'm deliberately going to use this brayer. It's a 2-inch wide brayer, but the barrel of it is quite narrow. And the reason I'm going to use this one is that I want to keep this color pretty much where I placed it. So I'm just going to do some magenta there, and there, and there. Start to mix in the purple, then the blue, a little bit of the gray. Then I'm going to take my bigger brayer, the 4-inch, and just roll this out, making sure I get the edges. This spot here, the paint looks too transparent, which means that it would dry too quickly before I put the plants down. So I'm just going to hit that up with a little bit more paint. And I'm going to start laying these on here. Oops. And I'm going to put some of these little branches down at the bottom just to fill this in. And I'm working against the clock because this paint is drying as I speak. And because we have some long stalky things here, I like to add some things that are round. Here is a seed pod that I found. Here is a flower from a hydrangea. Okay, let's do this. Let's put a piece of printing paper on here and press. What you want to do is really feel all of the stems and the leaves and the parts of the plants below your fingers. You want to press them really well into the plate, into the paint that's on the plate, because you want to get a nice crisp impression. And let's see what this looks like. Okay, we have a blob of paint there that looks a little bit too much. I'm going to go in there with my finger and try to pull that out. That worked a little bit. There's another blob there that I might want to get rid of, because I want these stems to be recognizable. So sometimes you have to do this with your finger. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to pull these off and wait for this to dry. And then we're going to put the pickup layer of paint on, plus the plants that are going to act as the mask. One of the things that you may want to have when you're dealing with botanicals or other small items is a tweezers for picking up things that are very thin, like this seed pod. Because if you try to do it with your fingers, you run the risk of getting a great big fingerprint on top of the plate, or you smush the item that you're trying to lift up. So I'm going to use the tweezers on this. Whoops. And then once this dries, I'm going to put another layer of paint on there and use these as my mask. This is dry now, so I'm going to lay down the pickup layer. I'm going to use titanium white and a little bit of Payne's gray. I don't want a pure white background. I want it to have a little bit of color in it. So I have some Payne's gray here. I'm just going to add it with my finger because I don't want a lot. And I'm going to roll this out. Now I'm going to put down the plants that are going to serve as the masks. I think that's enough. I'll grab my printing paper. I'm going to place it on top and I'm going to give this a good rub. Now this is really important. You have to feel the stems and the pieces of the plant beneath your fingers. You have to feel it really, really well when you do this layer. So if you feel the stems, run your fingers along the sides of them. You really want to have your mask look very crisp and not blobby. Also, when I'm pressing on this, I'm pressing this layer of white paint into the layer that dried before, the one with the purples and the blues. And we're softening it up so that we can do the pull when this is ready to go. And I'm going to put some books on top of here so that there's a really tight connection between this and the plate. Let's see if this is good to go. Okay, it worked. Here we have our mask. The plants here on the plate acted like a mask, and you can see that they created this beautiful white look on top of the other plants that had been laid below. That's why they're called masks. These plants were masking the impressions made by these when we first put these down on the plate. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I had to do this quite a few times in the past to make sure that I got it right. I'm going to show you some fails because sometimes, you know, when you watch these YouTube videos, it looks so easy and you think, oh, she knows what she's doing. She may never make mistakes. Wrong. Here's one that was a fail. This part looked okay, but then I put this plant on top and it just looked, I don't know, it just looks ridiculous. You've got these great big leaves and it just does not look attractive. Here's another one that I did that was a fail. The background part was okay, but I put this big chunky plant on top and pressed around it, and it really doesn't look very good, does it? So through trial and error, I've discovered that if you're going to use this technique with botanicals, use something that's really thin and stalky like this. Otherwise, you're going to get a very blobby look with the mask. And that's why you really need to press hard on these stems and really get your fingers around them so that you get these nice impressions. I hope that this video is helping you in your gel printing journey. If you would like to get a copy of my free gel printing supply list, there is a link in the description below the video. Just click it and it will be sent to you. It's about 10 pages long in the supply list. I have links to all of the supplies that you see here in this video. And I also do a lot of information about what kind of paint to buy because that really affects how well your prints are going to come out. So give mask making a shot. I will be making more videos about how to create masks in things that are not botanical. You can create masks out of paper or cardboard or plastic and put them down on the gel plate and use them to mask out areas. So keep your eyes open for videos like that.